I want to introduce you two friends, new friends for us, for the HIM family, Todd Bolsinger and Kristen Ivy. Please welcome them. Aloha. Hey, Todd. Hey, Kristen. Well, let me introduce to you our new friends. Kristen Ivy is the executive director of messaging at Orange. And you have friends here, all the way from Atlanta. And she's also author of 3 books. And we also have Todd Bolsinger, who is the VP for Vocation and Formation and an assistant professor of practical theology at Fuller Theological Seminary. And so we are grateful for you two to be here. But first of all, Orange has a network of, I think, 8,000 churches or so. Is that about right?
We have about 8,000 that come to our conference. A little bit over that, but yes.
Okay, thousands of churches use Orange, and it's a curriculum, a discipleship tool. So tell us, as we begin, just so they can get to know you, what is Orange, and what does that all mean?
Well, first of all, I was a little bit upset, because you got the orange lei. I felt like... But they didn't give you purple, so I don't know what the message was.
And Fuller's colors are purple, so maybe we're partners. Maybe that's the whole idea. Yeah.
Actually, Orange is good friends with Fuller, and we've really benefited from Kara Powell and your whole team. So that's been a very fun relationship. But we use the color orange simply to say that we think that God wants to do something through the light of the church, which we say yellow represents the light of the church, and the love in the heart of the home, which is red. And when you can combine the heart of the home with the light of the church, you can have a stronger impact in the lives of kids and teenagers.
Wow, that's fantastic. How many of your churches uses Orange? See how excited they are? And how many more people can start using your curriculum? So that's pretty exciting. And then, Todd, what does that mean that you are the VP of Vocation and Formation? What does that mean?
Yeah, what it mostly means is that Fuller is acknowledging that people who need a seminary are not just folks who are clergy. We have a bunch of folks like this, but more and more, we have people coming to seminary who believe they need theological education for their calling in all of life, for the marketplace, for artists, for nonprofit leadership. And so our job is to form people to live out their calling. And sometimes that's right in their neighborhoods, and sometimes that's clear around the world. Sometimes that's in a pulpit. Sometimes that's in a classroom or a courtroom or an artist studio. So our job is to make sure people are formed to live out their callings.
Well, Fuller is a phenomenal, incredible, amazing seminary. Full disclaimer, I went to Fuller.
We liked you immediately, Dan. Yeah.
And I'm a trustee too, so just want to be, fair, like all the news are. So we want to talk about mercy, and this is perfect. We have somebody who specializes in children, somebody who specializes in adults. And so how do we get mercy to really be part of our DNA in our lives? And so let's just start off. I mean, how would you two define mercy? What does mercy mean to you? Ladies first, with the purple letter.
I would like to go before the seminary professor, if that's okay. No, I was thinking through mercy, and especially we work with families and kids and teenagers, and one of the most powerful examples of mercy to me comes in the Old Testament, actually. The word that we translate mercy in our Old Testament is actually the Hebrew term hesed, and there's really not a great English translation for hesed, but it's a really powerful concept, and especially when it comes to kids and teenagers and family, because it's a word that means unrequited, unrelenting, it's love. And it's love that's an action that doesn't give up, and it's there regardless. And I think it's just this incredible, powerful concept, because if you think about mercy as an action and something that is, even if it's unrequited, even if you don't give anything back to it, it's just relentless and pursuing. And to me, mercy is just that.
Wow, that's great. Okay, Todd, beat that.
Yeah, I don't think I can. She trotted out the Hebrew and everything.
We'll try the Greek then.
Exactly.
Or the Latin.
So I think
French.
the most important thing that we would both agree upon and that our ministries represent is that mercy is a quality that is only found in relationship. You cannot find mercy through information. You can't read a pamphlet or a book or even the Bible about mercy and experience mercy. Information doesn't lead to transformation. So if you want to become merciful, you have to be surrounded by people who are merciful, who give you mercy. And that's why even in 1 Peter, it talks about the definition of a person who has experienced and become part of the people of God, part of the church, is as someone who has received mercy. And I think that's one of the reasons why so many of us end up being disappointed in our churches, because we don't experience them as merciful, and we need to. And that's when I tell our students, well, then maybe that's why you're supposed to go back into your church and be a person of mercy, because the world's only going to experience the mercy of God through the human contact with people who are merciful.
So, as a follow-up question, if mercy is not well practiced out in the community, or perish the thought, in our churches, is it because it's a lack of teaching or a lack of understanding or something else, Todd?
Well, I would say that there's, I think most of us can find the right answer. We can look it up, we can find the teaching. But mercy as a relational concept must be put into practice. So Jesus literally said, if you know these things, you'll be blessed if you do them. And so until we learn the practices that form us into becoming merciful people, the actions we take on each day, the extending of ourselves in clear, concrete behaviors, then we're not going to become merciful people. And so we have to live out mercy to have mercy lived into us. We need to receive mercy through other people in order to be able to give it to others.
And Christian, as one of the head bananas of Orange. So, I mean, how do we train our children in this? I mean,
I'm changing my title to head banana.
I like that. It's a better business card. It has a Hawaiian flavor, too.
I'm sorry. Tell me again. I got distracted.
Got stuck on banana.
Let me model to you mercy. That's okay, Kristen, if you missed that. No, it was. The question is, as you are involved in a great curriculum in helping children all over the country, if not the world, how can we teach children mercy?
I do think it's back to everything that Todd was saying. It's a relational concept, and so it's not taught through information. It's not taught through a great curriculum. Honestly, one of the reasons that we got into curriculum is because we wanted to be able to take care of things that if we felt like if we did a good job taking care of the curriculum side, it would free up leaders to invest relationally. And the whole motive behind everything that we do is to say, we want to do what we can do, so you can do the thing that only you can do, which is to show up and be consistently present in the lives of kids and teenagers, because this is a generation that desperately needs adults that will lean into them and say, I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to be here for you week in and week out, no matter what happens in your life, because the only way to really teach a kid mercy is to show it to them, just like Todd was saying, to be relationally present and really invested in their lives.
Mm-hmm. So for both of you, what would be, where do you see mercy most often today?
That's easy for me. I see mercy most often when I wake up in the morning and look at my wife. She has taught me to be merciful because she has loved me in all my humanness. And I also, to be honest, see mercy most often in churches that are struggling to show the love of God for each other. I would say to every pastor up here, to every one of us, we should be able to answer the question. If someone says, what do you think a merciful God is like? We should be able to say, without any cynicism, come and see. Come to our congregation. Come to our small group. Come have dinner with us. If we're not able to say that, then we know we have to keep growing. And for me, that means I have to be surrounded by more and more merciful people.
And why do you think for many churches there seems to be a barrier that we're not known for mercy?
I think for most of us, it's because we have...
You can jump into it.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking
okay.
for most of us, I think one of the things we would both agree, as people who spend most of our lives teaching and giving curriculum and writing books and instructing, that I think too many people like us have made people believe that if we get the right information, then that's enough. And the truth of the matter is that things like mercy are more caught than taught. And so you need all the information and all the curriculum that Orange creates. You need all the scholarship that some of the world's best minds that are at Fuller create. And you have to then put them into translate them into human practice. And if they're not, then the gospel has not gone forth.
It's just harder. I mean, mercy is harder. It's easier to learn Greek and Hebrew and passages of the Bible and to study and study and study. That's easy. What's hard is to get in the lives of people and love them and to know their mess and to get hurt by them and to keep loving them anyway. And that's why I love that concept of Hesed, because I do think about that with families. I think if you want to see what mercy looks like, think about the mother who's getting up at 2 in the morning with her 4-month-old, and she hasn't slept for longer than 2 hours, and she's going to go, I don't care if you never tell me you love me, you just keep crying in my face and spitting up on me. I'm still showing up for you. I'm going to be here regardless. Or the parent who has a wandering, teenager or adolescent who's kind of going through hard things, and it's that concept of God who said, even in all of his power to Israel, he said, I'm not going to control you. Even though you're hurting me, even though you're breaking my heart, I'm not going to control you. I'm going to do the hardest thing possible. I'm going to give you my hesed. I'm going to give you my love. I'm going to love you anyway, no matter what it takes. It's just hard.
Well, fantastic. I mean, you two, again, are part of this wonderful buffet as we're trying to figure out what mercy means. But thank you for being this wonderful entree down the table to help us get all this. So please show your mahalo and gratitude for Todd and Kristen.